It was an early evening in Canterlot. Luna had just raised the moon, and as she was standing on her balcony by her room, watching over the castle garden, it was in a full moon's light. She felt happy, peaceful. But even though there was one small thing that she really missed the most. For the past few months, she had been seeing a lot of couples walking around in town, and that made her feel jealous and also a bit lonely. She had hoped maybe one day that she would return back from being the Nightmare Moon to be able to find her true love. But she hasn't even been able to do so. But there were also another thing that being a co-ruler of Equestria is one of the main reasons why she hadn't been able to focus on any dating or anything. But after being alive for 1,000 years and also being as immortal like her older sister Celestia is, she would have all the time in the world to be able to find someone to be with. Even her older sister said, "You will find someone when you're feeling ready." But even though Celestia had a point, but Luna has never been dating anyone before. She has zero experience when it comes to dating or any form of romance. So even if she would meet up with a stallion, she had no idea how to behave or what to do or even to say in a relationship. But after being lonely for so long, she was, even though she felt lonely, but she did feel that she was ready to take the step. But there was an only problem, not only due to the fact of her being the princess. She had no idea where to even to start. She didn't even have that many male friends in Canterlot in the first to start with. She only had a few, but some of them were already dating or even married. So it's not like that she couldn't even ask one of them. But then one day, when Celestia and Luna were having lunch together in the dining hall, they were just talking about some things, and when Luna mentioned that she wished that she could find a boyfriend, then Celestia suggests, why don't you try speed dating or something? Luna's like, speed dating? What's even that? She asked. Oh, you may not even heard about it. It's kind of popular now these days. She tried to explain at least what speed dating were, and even though Luna was actually a bit quite surprised and a bit intrigued. So where do I find this so-called speed dating? Do I have to travel to a different city or town for that? Not really. They already open up one here in town, said Celestia with a smile. How did you know? I mean, I passed by it in a couple of days ago. You passed by it? I mean, I was in town just for a walk, and I did saw it, so... Oh. So Luna thought herself about it. And even after lunch, she went to her room, she thought about it, and she was like, maybe it's not a bad idea. So that Friday, she actually left the castle, went to the speeding service, and even when she went inside, hello, Princess Luna. Well, quite a surprise. What brings you here? Said the organizer. Oh, I'm here to try this speed dating. Your Highness? Yes, just call me Luna. The organizer signed her up, and even when she went on a table, different opponents when she was doing the speed dating, they were quite so nervous, but there was something about it. Even though Luna was normally a calm, relaxed, but she felt nervous. She had no idea how to even interact with some opponents like this before. But she had a good time. But despite all the stallions that she interacted with, there was no any formal connections, or she didn't felt none of them was not the one for her. So after she left the speed dating, she felt both disappointed and hopeless, but she decided to try a second time. So the next Friday, a week later, she went back. And this time she did meet up with different stallions, but as the time before, there was no connection until she was matched with one final unicorn by the name Lunar Evening. He was very charming, a little bit shy, but he was polite. He even answered her some questions, and even afterwards, as she was leaving, she saw that Lunar Evening was standing by the park, well, is by himself when she walked up to him and asked if he was okay. He nodded and said, yeah, and he was just still nervous after that since it was his first time. She felt somehow connected to that. She remembered how the first time she tried it. Then she asked if he maybe wanted to go get something to eat. It was still early noon, and he said yes. So they went to the small restaurant nearby and just talked, having lunch together. And even afterwards, before leaving, Lunar got the idea and even asked if Luna perhaps maybe wanted to go on a date with them, just to see if there was something between them, just in case. Luna was actually a bit surprised, but she said yes. So that same Saturday, they actually went to a restaurant, and to her big surprise, they connected quite well. They shared so many common hobbies, like what things to read, what type of music do they like, and they couldn't even have been more connected. But they weren't even an official couple or anything until much later on, at least that they planned for. They decided to keep dating to see each other on dates now and then when they had the time. And after about 2 months or so, they made it official. They were really happy to make it. And it didn't take long for the whole public became fully aware of that Luna now was dating a unicorn. The whole public was really surprised, but very supportive. They knew for a fact that she never had any formal dating experience, but she was putting herself out there, trying her best to find a potential partner and or at least getting some experience. Even when Celestia met Lunar Evening for the first time, she smiled and said, Luna, you hit a gold mine. Luna was really curious about what she meant like gold mine. Oh, I mean that you did find a really good stallion to be with. Then Luna blushed and said, yeah, I know. But there was something about it that she couldn't put much of her hoof on it. Because she felt happy. And even though that Lunar Evening and Luna couldn't see each other so often, even though they both lived in the same town, but the main reason was that she was a princess. She said that she was willing to step down as a princess so that she could be just a common pony, so that they could be more time together. But Lunar Evening told Luna, you shouldn't have to do that, just be with me, Luna. You don't have to do anything like so drastic, you know. Are you sure? I mean, I'm willing to do anything that is possible to just be with you. I mean, you don't have to do things so that you will eventually regret, do you? Do you think that you want to push all your duties to your own sister? I mean, I know for a fact she did take care of those duties for 1,000 years when she was gone. But you don't want to do that again? Luna thought for that moment, and she realized that he had a point. She said decided Maybe I can try to put on less work sometimes, maybe on the weekends, so that we can see each other a little bit often. Lunar thought that was a good compromise and agreed. She thought about it and even brought this topic to Celestia, just in case. She was okay with it, since the weekends is probably the best way for Luna and Lunar to be able to see each other. Then, after they've been dating for almost 6 months at the point, Lunar actually gave Luna some roses while they were in the castle garden. Wait, for me? Yeah, I thought maybe you would like some roses. You told me once that you did like roses as one of your favorite flowers. You really remember that, didn't you? I mean, I have sometimes a good memory to some things like this. And I also want to be, a little bit more passionate about it. Since you're my very first girlfriend I ever had. That made her blush. Not only that, but you're also my first boyfriend ever. I know. From that day, they promised each other always be together. After that he gave her the roses, they went back inside castle. She put them in some water, and they left the castle to go out eating together. There were a lot of common things they had each other. When they were on dates, sometimes they don't even went out eating or anything or dancing. Sometimes they just sat in the castle garden, just enjoying their evening together. And a few times when they were able to have a date on the afternoon, they actually went to the museums together sometimes. Sometimes history museum, art museum, just have a good time. But then, on their 1 year anniversary, Lunar Evening had planned something special. He took her on a cruise for the weekend. Even though she wasn't sure if it was okay by Celestia, but Celestia said to her, do it. Go on a cruise. It's not often you have been able to to do that. I can take care of your duties for the weekend, so don't worry, I've been doing that before, so. Thanks, sister. I appreciate it. After that, they actually went on a cruise, and it was a perfect choice because they always had a romantic dinners and just watching the sunset together, as it was Celestia's one way to making it perfect. But then, one day, something happened. While Luna was in town waiting for Lunar Evening to show up, she heard a voice. Hey! It was a mare, a unicorn mare. It was a mare that she hadn't even seen before. Hey, can I help you? Yeah, are you seeing my brother? Turns out it was Lunar Evening's youngest sister. She hadn't even met his sister yet. She told her once that he did have a sister, but she wasn't even in town anymore. She had been in Saudi Arabia, and she hadn't even been in reach of her family for months. She hadn't even met Luna for the past year that Luna and Lunar Evening have been dating. Yeah, that's true. Why didn't none of you told me about it? Wait, he didn't tell you? No. Then he heard a voice. Luna, sis? What? When did you get back here? Oh, so there you are. So that's true, you've been dating Luna. Why didn't you tell me? I mean, you were in Saudi Arabia for some sort of assignment, and even though that you were a little bit out of touch, out of reach, so you didn't know exactly where in Saudi Arabia you were. So it's not like we wouldn't even just be able to send you a letter, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess. But again, you act dating the princess? Yeah. But how long? About a year. A year? Wait, mom and dad knows? Yep, they do. Ah, sweet Celestia, why they never told me when I got home? Maybe they perhaps wanted to keep it a secret from you? Or maybe they just wanted to wait to surprise you? Or maybe they just want to let you know to figure out in one way on maybe to figure out on your own? Lunar Evening said. Good point, and that's fair, but yeah, but congrats to you both. I'm really happy for you both though. If my big brother does anything to you, just let me know and I will kick his flank. Hey, but that's fair. After that, Luna was actually happy to meet his younger sister. And after being dating for another 2 more years, on their third anniversary, he took her to the park, gave her some roses, as the time wanted before, and even showed her a ring that he had made for her, like a costume made, and asked her, Luna, we had only been dating for 3 years, and those past 3 years, it felt the most happiest time ever in my life. And I really want to be with you. Do you want to marry me? Luna said yes right away, and she could not have been more happier. They decided to have a big wedding. Luna decided to have Lunar Evening's younger sister as her maid of honor, and Lunar Evening had chosen one of his male friends as a best man. Celestia was the one that was going to perform the wedding, and they had this wedding in Canterlot Castle. It was a big wedding. It wasn't like every day or one of the princesses was having a wedding, but they were just happy. And even after the ceremony, when they having their wedding reception party in the castle garden just for the guests, Luna had a special gift. She, by permission by Celestia, turned Lunar Evening to immortal. He was not hesitating to take that as a gift. They were just happy enough they could forever to be together. After later, they actually went to a tropical island for their honeymoon, and they were there for about 2 weeks, and they had a great time. But there were some times when there was a bad weather, when this was raining a lot, and they're just having a good time. But even so, there were times in their relationship that even before they got married that Lunar Evening thought maybe this wasn't gonna be a long term. But he was happy. It eventually led to a long term relationship. But even so, after all this, after being married just for 2 years, they were expecting their first child, a daughter, and she was born as an alicorn. And 3 years later, they were told they were expecting their second child, a boy. He was also born as an alicorn. And then 3 more years later, they have twin daughters, both also alicorns. They were not expecting to have 4 children as alicorns, but they were just happy regardless. No matter what happened in their lives in the past, despite a lack of experience of dating, that eventually led them to both to meet, fall in love, and eventually to get married. There were points when Luna, before she met Lunar Evening, would she ever meet her true love? But when she met Lunar, there was something about him that she couldn't put it at first. But later, she realized it was love in the first sight. And he admitted that to her many years later the same. They were just happy to finally to be with the one they loved the most in the whole world. This is how Luna and Lunar Evening found the true love got a big family together. The end.